down to Eddie V's Roadshow. Chuck Garfine from Comcast Sportsnet. What's up, buddy? It's
$1 million. He knows him and Derek need to work together, and I don't. If there was anything, and I'm not saying there even was anything between these two, they will find a way to work it out, and it's not going to be an issue next season.
I'm pretty excited for this next year because as a gym rat ball hog myself,
Sure.
I like shooting. You know, I like
that.
offense. Yeah.
I've experienced that firsthand. I played ball with Eddie on
Gabe
Wednesdays.
has seen that.
He could definitely make a jump shot or two. But, I mean, just like how Eddie and I could work, I think Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler could work out as well. Especially when the money's in place. I mean, $95 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a ton of
they'll
money.
find a way to make it work. But wait, Eddie, what position did you play?
I was a forward in high school. I was a three-point launching white boy. I mean,
he's like a Kurt Thomas. If you want to compare him to somebody, that's what I would,
Okay, so how big was your high school? Because you have to put in the proper context.
I was at Maine North, so we played Central Suburban League, and we got our butts whipped by New Trier and Maine South, and I think we were 2-32 my senior year. I know, but I averaged about 14 a game because I launched that sucker. I didn't care.
Okay, so you can shoot. Okay, because I went to Homewood Flossmoor High School.
Is it true?
Pretty good.
Is it true people from Homewood Flossmoor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't hear what you just said.
I said, is it true people from Homewood floss more? That's terrible.
What?
I said I'm just making a bad pun on the Homewood floss. So
Flossmoor.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Nice.
I'm having fun with you. I would say that if I was an average basketball player, but I had no shot of making the Homewood Flossmoor basketball team. No shot.
Well, since everybody's shouting out their team, I mean, I play for Lane Tech.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a city boy. I play shooting guard, well, bench and shooting guard. You know, it's like hand in hand.
The only drawback to playing at Lane Tech is wearing those Green Bay Packers colors.
I did. That was actually horrible. I had to burn all my jerseys after my seasons were over.
Hey, so Brandon Saad, I know you're not you don't concentrate on hockey as much, but you know everything about sports.
Yeah.
He goes to Columbus for a bunch of players traded around. He wants $6.5 million a year to be a Blue Jacket, and to me, that's one expensive BJ.
That is very expensive. I think I'm sure he was crushed. I mean, you don't want to leave the Blackhawks. That is the team that everybody in the NHL wants to play for, basically. And, you know, I think his agent was probably asking for a little too much money.
Yeah.
And you know, Stan Bowman is a smart businessman, and he's got an issue where he's got to cut some money from the payroll. So if and he's got a lot of plates in the air trying to figure out what to do about Sharp and Bickle, and Saad was one of them as well. And if he's not hearing what he needs to hear, he'll play hardball if the agent's going to do it as well. So I think he just went ahead and made the deal and traded him to Columbus. And I mean, I don't know too much about the guys coming through. I mean, all four of them. I don't know too much about all these guys, but it sounds like they got a good package in return. But not having Brandon Saad, who's 22 years old and has such a bright future ahead of him, for the Blackhawks to trade him right after the Cup, it's. You know, but we've been down this road before. Stan Bowman 2 other times has had to, you know, restructure a cup-winning team, and he's done it both times and won
Right.
cups since then. So I mean, you got to trust Stan that he can do it.
I remember 2010. You know, what am I going to do with my Bifuglian jersey?
Yeah. I mean, those are the guys that you wanted to see on the team, but with any team, like you said, no matter what the sport is, I mean, the team has to break up. People got to leave.
Yeah.
And it sucks that he was one of them.
I think only little kids, well, I guess a lot of adults, but mostly a lot of little kids don't understand their favorite player and their jersey being traded. But the business end of it is, year after year, it becomes even more of a business kind of thing. So.
Well, if they end up trading Patrick Sharp, can you imagine what the female population in Chicago are going to think about that?
Yeah, my wife just goes, "Who scored the goal? The hottie?" I mean, that's how they look at it.
Hot European guy,
yeah. Let's see what else. This Bobby Portis guy. I thought Tony Snell had creepy looking eyes, but this guy, boy, deer in headlights. But hopefully he can play, right?
But yeah, I mean, Garth Foreman, you know, stated that he just wanted to get, you know, creepy looking guys. That was what his main, really his main objective was, to find this person. I mean, people are looking for wingspan, brains, speed. He just looked straight in the eye, and he knew exactly what he wanted. No, he fell to them. I mean, that's what the Bulls. It's kind of a running joke that Gar Forman always says on draft night. Yeah, we didn't expect him to be there, but and he just fell to us and we took him. But it's true. I mean, he fits the Bulls mode of he's a tireless worker. He's got a big motor, and he's going to give them some toughness. And I think they were missing. They didn't even have one of those kind of tough guys. I mean, Taj Gibson could be that way, but I was watching the playoffs this year, and I was like, "Where's Charles Oakley?"
Yeah.
Where are these tough guys? Because the Cavs had Tristan Thompson. I feel like they didn't have that kind of edge, that player who can come in and just make a statement with his body, and I think that's what Portis can bring.
Yeah, and the Cavs just re-signed
Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson.
Okay.
And we need a big monster in there.
I mean, there used to be a guy like Kurt Thomas, right? When he pushed LeBron James. I mean, you kind of
Right.
wanted that guy to go in there and get dirty. But I think he's going to be
Yeah.
good. Do you think that he's going to make Taj Gibson expendable?
That's a good question. That is a possibility, but they also could work together as well. And we don't know how long Joakim Noah is going to be on the team.
Sure.
So there's a lot of moving parts with this all. But I think they'll all be here this season, and we'll see how it develops. But I mean, Taj Gibson has a great contract that if the Bulls if they felt like Bobby Portis, can fill that role and they need help somewhere else, they could use Taj Gibson as trade bait, and many teams would want him. But I think for the moment, I think they can coexist.
Yeah. Hey, so my Sports Illustrated, the same magazine that picked the Blackhawks way back in October to repeat, or not repeat, but to win the Stanley Cup, I picked up one of my other issues, and it says the World Series will be the Washington Nationals and the Cleveland Indians. I believe they picked Cleveland to win it, too. So if it wasn't for the Succo Sox, the Cleveland would be in last place. So I don't know. What's wrong?
I never make baseball predictions, ever. I mean, they're impossible trying to figure out what's going to happen in this crazy game. I think it's the toughest to predict, but they want to sell magazines. People always want predictions, and it makes sense that they do something like that. But I've watched a lot of White Sox baseball this year. I'm one of the few.
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
And it's been tough. It's been tough. They'll have one good game like last night where they beat the best team in baseball. Like the Cardinals are like 28-7 at home.
Yeah.
And Chris Sale goes out there, and Tyler Flowers hits a home run in the 11th, and they win the game, and you feel like, okay, here we go. Maybe they're going to start winning.
Yeah.
And then they're playing tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, and they could go right back to playing horrible baseball with bad defense and not hitting the ball. So everyone loved this team going into it, and it's funny how everyone now forgets those feelings that they had, and now they want the whole team blown up.
My motto is time for a fire sale, just don't fire sale.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie, I think you and I were pretty big White Sox fans. I think we're pretty depressed with what's going on over there.
And I wonder if it's like, if one problem begets another, like there's no fans there, and even though some of these guys are good players, I don't know if it's depressing to play at the Cell, or...
I mean, do they think like that the coach is supposed to get the best out of these players? Or is it that there's just bad players and they've reached that point already, that ceiling?
I think it's a whole bunch of factors at play here. One is, I think, it's one thing if you have players coming up together and there's this kind of built-in chemistry where they were in the minors together, like the Cubs, and they learned to play together, and then they come up to the majors and they're playing together in the majors. And the White Sox didn't really have that. They brought in like hired guns, like Adam LaRoche and Melky Cabrera, and they were kind of hoping that something would click right away, but and it didn't. And I think if they'd gotten off to a better start, I think that would have helped. But then just the hole got deeper and deeper and deeper. And the thing with baseball, it's not like football. Football, you have a game, and then there's like a whole week in between, and you can kind of like get things squared away in a week. In baseball, there's a game on top of a game on top of a game, and things just snowball.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things that were happening, and there are times when you have to question the manager, Robin Ventura, and you have to say, like, why isn't the hitting coach getting the most out of his players? Why are they making so many bonehead moves? There's just a lot going on here, and the thing that's really upsetting them is that, like, normally a team would have injuries, And that would be the reason why they're
Yeah.
struggling. The Sox have been so healthy; they haven't had any injuries, and they're playing like this.
Yeah. Well, suffice it to say, it won't be a Cubs-Sox World Series, even though the Cubs arrow is probably pointing up a little more. But
on my PlayStation, it will be though, Eddie.
Oh, there
so
you go.
Don't you worry, every
Right.
single night.
And but who from the Cubs and the Sox do you think should be on the All-Star team, if any?
Well, Chris Sale for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly probably the top pitcher in the American League. Max Scherzer has been the best in the National League, and that's probably it for the Sox, unfortunately. Jose Abreu hasn't had the kind of numbers he had last year, so I won't even put him on the team. With the Cubs, I would love to see Chris Bryant on the team, but he hasn't has many games. But he is totally deserving to be there. I'm just thinking around the diamond. I mean, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. There's a big one I'm forgetting here.
Rizzo?
Oh, Anthony Rizzo. My God, Anthony Rizzo needs to be there for sure.
Yeah. And the Cubs broke their losing streak by bringing in a magician.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Madden does that. I mean, he's like the perfect manager to be the manager of the Cubs. And I'll get to that in a moment. But he's brought in like boa constrictors, and he's had a disco ball in the clubhouse. This is what he did in Tampa. So he's done, and I think he's done magicians before. And the reason why I think he's like when they got him, I'm like, if the Cubs are ever going to win a World Series, this is the kind of manager you want. Somebody who knows how to deal with pressure. Because when the Cubs get to the playoffs again, whether it's this year, next year, 2 years, 5 years, all that pressure, that Cubs pressure, is going to be there. And it's so, they'll win one series, and then all the media and all the attention's going to be like, oh, can this team do it? Can this team do it?
Yeah.
And something bad will happen. And they'll lose a game, and they'll say, oh, here we go again. But Joe Madden is the kind of guy that can talk to all his players and deal with the situation better than probably anyone in baseball. So, if you're a Cubs fan, I'm sure every Cubs fan out there loves Joe Madden being their manager. I don't even need a person to tell them this. But I'm just looking into the future, and if they ever get to the playoffs with him as their manager, I really feel like he's the right guy.
Yeah, I would love to be there for the magician thing. Rizzo.
Ta-da.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Chuck Garfien from Comcast Sportsnet. I see you all the time, and good luck with the White Sox turning things around. I don't know if firing Robin is the answer. Everybody calling for his head. That's just. That sometimes just seems dumb. Bring back Ozzy. Wait a minute, didn't we run him out of town?
Wait, did I just tweet that 5 minutes ago? Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right. Hey, thanks for coming out. Hope we can have you again.
Anytime, Eddie, anytime.
All right.
Chuck, take it easy.
All right.